You probably clicked expecting something like, when did humans start cooking food, right? Same sentence structure, same word count, same formula you've seen 100 times on this topic. I don't blame you. That's what the algorithm trained you to expect. But if you give me the next few minutes, I'm going to show you something no one has discussed before, something that'll keep you wondering long after the video ends. So stay with me. I burned eggs for my grandmother once. I was maybe 12. She'd just gotten out of the hospital, and I was at her stove trying to make her breakfast. The butter went brown, the eggs stuck, the edges turned black and crispy. I was embarrassed. I was ready to throw them out and start over. But she stopped me. She said, "Bring them here." And she ate the whole thing, burnt edges and all. She didn't care about the taste. She cared that someone stood over heat and changed food for her, that someone else did the work so she didn't have to. And I didn't understand it then, but I think about it now every time I cook, because that moment, standing over a flame, transforming something raw into something shared, is not just cooking. It's the oldest human transaction there is. And it didn't just change what we eat, it changed what we are, down to your smell receptors, down to whether you have hair on your body, down to how much pain a mother feels giving birth. Most videos about cooking and human evolution tell the same story. Raw food is hard to chew. Homo erectus found fire. Brains got bigger. Gut got smaller. Richard Wrangham, Wonderwerk cave, 1 million years ago. You've heard it. I'm not going to waste your time repeating it. What I want to talk about is what they leave out. The parts of this story that are darker, stranger, and more personal than fire made us smart. Let's start with something none of those videos mention. The smell. You know that smell. Butter hitting a hot pan, garlic turning golden, meat searing. It doesn't just smell good. It hijacks your brain. Literally. When food browns at high heat, what scientists call the Maillard reaction, it creates hundreds of volatile chemical compounds. Furans, pyrazines, thiazoles. These molecules float up your nose and trigger dopamine release in pathways that evolved specifically to reward you for finding cooked food. Not raw food, cooked food. Chimpanzees don't get this hit. Their brains don't light up for caramelized onions, but yours does. And here's the thing. This isn't a side effect. This is a biological leash. We didn't just learn to like cooked food. We evolved to crave it. The smell of cooking is a neurochemical trap that ensures we keep doing the one behavior our species cannot survive without. Because without cooking, your body doesn't work. It's harder. Doesn't work. But here's where it gets weird. Fire didn't just cook our food. It warmed our bodies. And that warmth is the missing piece nobody talks about. Think about this. Before fire, if you wanted to survive a cold night on the African savanna, you needed one of two things: thick body hair, or a massive metabolism burning fuel just to keep warm. Other primates have the hair. We don't. And we almost certainly lost it because of fire. This is the part that blows my mind. Cooking gave us the calories to survive. Fire gave us the warmth to sleep. And between those two gifts, our bodies could finally afford to shed our fur. Without that coat, we could sweat. And sweating is the single greatest endurance adaptation in the animal kingdom. We became persistence hunters, chasing prey for hours until the animal overheated, because we could sweat, because we lost our hair, because fire kept us warm at night. So the chain goes like this. Fire cooks food. Food feeds bigger brain. Fire provides warmth. Body loses fur. Sweating enables hunting. Hunting provides more meat. More meat feeds even bigger brain. Cooking wasn't just a kitchen upgrade. It was the first domino in a cascade that turned a small, hairy primate into a naked, sweating, long-distance predator. And that bigger brain? It came with a price that every mother on Earth has paid. Here's the gap that genuinely makes me angry that more people don't talk about it. Cooking didn't just grow our brains. It grew our babies' brains. Before cooking, primate infants were born with brains that were already relatively developed. They could cling to fur. They could hold on while mothers foraged. But once cooking created a calorie surplus, evolution could afford to push brain development earlier. Human babies started being born with bigger heads relative to their bodies. More neural tissue. More potential. But the pelvis can only get so wide before walking becomes impossible. So we got stuck. Human childbirth became the most dangerous in the mammal kingdom. Not because of a design flaw, because cooking was too successful. The calorie surplus that fire created literally made birth painful and dangerous. We are the only species where childbirth routinely kills the mother without assistance. And that assistance, midwives, grandmothers, community support, became necessary because of what cooking enabled. There's something almost tragic in that. The same fire that made us brilliant made birth a trauma. And the social response, women helping women through labor, might be one of the oldest human institutions, born directly from a biological crisis that cooking created. Now let's talk about what fire took from us. Because everyone celebrates cooking as this great leap forward, nobody mourns what died in the flames. Before cooking, your ancestors had guts teeming with microbial diversity that modern humans have lost. A chimpanzee's colon is a fermentation chamber, huge, complex, full of bacteria breaking down raw fiber into fatty acids. Our gut is a shrunken shadow of that. We traded microbial richness for metabolic efficiency, and we can't go back. Studies of people on long-term raw diets show that even when they survive, their gut microbiomes look impoverished compared to other primates. We've forgotten how to be raw animals. We also lost our independence. Every other creature on Earth can feed itself without tools. A lion doesn't need technology to extract calories from a carcass. A chimpanzee doesn't need a flame, but you do. Remove cooking from a human, and you don't get a noble savage. You get a starving animal with a brain too expensive for its gut to feed. We are the only species on the planet that is biologically obligated to its own technology. Fire didn't just serve us, it domesticated us. And the person who held that leash? The Firekeeper. Picture this. It's 2 million years ago. The sun is down. The group has eaten, but someone has to stay awake. Someone has to watch the embers, because if the fire dies, everything dies. The warmth, the protection from leopards, the ability to cook tomorrow's food. That person, the Firekeeper, was the first specialist. The first person whose labor wasn't foraging or hunting, but maintenance, protection, care. This might be the real origin of the division of labor. Not male and female, not strong and weak, but the one who tends the flame while others sleep, the one who holds the technology that everyone else needs to survive. That person had power. That person had status. That person had the earliest version of a job. And think about the cognitive load. You can't just make fire once and forget it. You have to gather fuel. You have to bank embers. You have to know which wood burns fast and which burns slow. You have to remember where you found the last good flint. Firekeeping is the original app you can't close. It runs in the background of your mind constantly, and running that background process while also tracking social relationships, tool plans, hunting strategies, might have been the actual workout that expanded our prefrontal cortex. Not cooking itself, the mental overhead of never letting the fire die. Now, fast forward to tonight. You're tired, you open YouTube, and somehow you end up watching a stranger chop onions for 20 minutes, or sear a steak, or stir a risotto. Cooking videos get billions of views. Why? You're not learning anything. You're not eating the food. But your brain is still running that million-year-old background process. The smell isn't even real. It's just visual suggestion. And your dopamine pathways fire anyway, because you are wired to find cooking mesmerizing. It's not entertainment. It's ancestral validation. Watching someone cook well tells your brain, the fire is tended, the group is safe, the calories are coming. That sound you hear in ASMR cooking videos? The sizzle? That's the sound of your evolutionary contract being honored. I want you to try something. Next time you cook, don't put on a podcast. Don't scroll. Just stand there and listen. Listen to the water boil. Listen to the oil pop. Listen to the sound of transformation, because that sound is older than language, older than music, older than every religion and every government. And when you hand that food to another person, when they take it from you and eat it, you are reenacting the oldest social bond in the history of our species. The cooked meal is the original gift, the original apology, the original expression of care, the original proof that you belong to a group that has fire. So here's what I want from you. Not a like, not a subscription. Though sure, do that. I want you to tell me, when was the last time you cooked something for someone? Not ordered, not microwaved, stood over actual heat, smelled it change, maybe burned your finger a little, and handed it to another person. What was it? Who was it for? Drop it in the comments. I'll be down there reading every single one, because if this video is right, and I think it is, those moments aren't just dinner. They're the last surviving embers of the thing that made us human in the first place. See you in the next one.